Hey, it's Caleb Canner with AeroAg, here today just to do an unboxing video of the EAVision J150. J150 is our flagship drone. It's a big drone, 20-gallon payload or 180-pound seed spreading payload. So it's been a really awesome product for us. We actually got our first unit back in August of last year. And we've put several thousand acres on the system. We've really enjoyed working with it and are really excited about having it for a full year this year, coming up on our first spray season with the J150. So we're just gonna take a couple minutes. We're gonna go through unboxing the battery, the charger, and then the actual drone itself. And I'll spend some time talking about some of the components on the drone, just to give you an idea what is actually included on the EAVision J150 out of the box, right? And so, first of all, I guess when you buy a drone, you can expect your products to come in boxes like this. Most of our local customers don't even see these boxes. We unbox them for them, have their products out ready to go when they come do their training. If you're someone that's not local and you're buying from us and we're shipping to you, this is what your product's gonna come as, and I'm gonna show you just kind of how we unbox and what you can expect to see when you open up those boxes, right? We'll start here with the battery. The battery for the EAVision J150 is really awesome. It is actually the largest battery that's on any of this class of spray drones right now this year. It's a 45,000 milliamp hour battery. It's extremely efficient. It works very well. It charges very fast, and it's been very reliable so far too. So as we pull the battery out, the first thing you're going to notice is that the cells of the battery are actually physically separated. So each one of these gaps goes all the way through the battery. That allows a lot more airflow to help cool this battery. Overheating is never something we've had to deal with or worry about with the EAVision systems, the J100 or the J150, and that's a big part of why, right? The charger has another reason, which we'll get into that too. You can also see the battery has the pins physically separated. So on this side is the negative terminal, and then on this side you can see the positive terminals, right? And so not a big deal, but that's something just to help keep you from ever having any type of mishaps with arcing. If you had debris on your pins when you put the battery in, you're really not gonna have to worry about that with the J150 battery. On top, you can see we have status lights similar to any other system you may have seen. If you push that button, it'll indicate what the battery voltage is on these lights, right? It also flashes for any error messages or anything like that. All right, so moving on, we'll get this battery out of the way, move on to the charger. So the charger for the J150 system is really substantial. It puts out a maximum output wattage of 12,500 watts, which is able to charge those batteries extremely fast. Even though as big as they are, we have no troubles keeping up with just one charger and 3 batteries. We keep up all day, no problems at all like that. So this is the charger. As you can see, the charger is fairly small compared to some of the other chargers on the market. It's very compact. It's designed to hold one battery. Like I said, one charger, 3 batteries is going to keep you running all day. So out of the box, you'll see your charger comes wired with these blue and white quick connectors. You're going to want to leave those on. It's tempting to just take those off and put it in straight into a plug. You're going to want to leave those on so you have the ability to connect each one separately. At times you may have to do some type of power supply updates, and being able to power each one individually is important for some of those things. So you get this end, and then you also get 2 pigtails for the other side of those quick connections, right? And so there's multiple ways you can wire this. We actually did a deep dive video on this charger, so if you want to know more, hop over and check out that video. But you can wire this multiple ways depending on your charging system, what type of generator you want to run, or if you're charging in a shop, or how you want to set this up. You have options there. So I won't get into that too much. Other things on the charger, you'll see immediately we have cooling fans integrated in. There's actually 4 cooling fans, 2 on each side, and that pushes air directly through those slots in that battery that we talked about. You can see the terminals on the sides. So we have positive and negative. Those are interchangeable terminals. So if they were to get damaged, if you were to put it in incorrectly or damage those pins, by dropping something on this, you can easily take out those 4 screws and swap those terminals out, no problem. We have all the same status lights, and then we have options to be able to turn the fans on and off. I will say the cooling fans on this charger are extremely loud, right? We're running the Predator quiet generators now, and it's funny, we're saying that the cooling fans on the charger are louder than the generators we're running actually. But all that to say, this thing cools that battery really well. We've had no issues with overheating there, like I said earlier. One thing you do want to think about is you always want to try to keep shade over your charging area while you're charging as well, because just that direct sun contact on the top of the batteries while it's in there can lead to things getting hotter than they should. So that's the charger. All right, so moving on to the drone, what you actually want to see. So this is the box that the drone comes in. What's inside this box is actually the drone and the controller, and then some user manuals and quick start guides that you're going to want to keep on hand. Like I said, this is a big drone, so you're likely going to need more than one person to unbox this. So I brought Lucas here with me to help me out. We're going to go ahead and open this up and show you what's inside. So let's throw this out of the way. All right. So then once you have the styrofoam off, you can see the drone now. You have the controller box right here. What you're going to do to pick this drone up, to me, the easiest way while it's in the styrofoam is to just grab under the arms right here. So Lucas will grab that side, I'll grab these two arms. We're going to lift it straight up and then sit it right back down on the floor right there. So like I said, it's not just the drone in this box, we also have the controller. And so I'm going to open up this controller box to show you what's inside. It's pretty simple. Basically what you have is you have the controller, you have a charger for the controller, and then your lanyard to strap that on. Obviously there's some other slots in here that are for some of the auxiliary tools that we can offer as well. Things like the mapping tool, RTK base stations, relays, things like that. So if you're interested in that, we can offer those. But the main component in here is really your RC controller. Looks very similar to some of the other systems you've probably seen. It is pretty ergonomically designed. And I will say the software that is on this controller is about as easy to use as any other system that's out there on the market right now. We really like what we're seeing out of that. So obviously when it comes packaged, it has these Velcro straps on here to hold the propellers in place. You're not going to want to throw those away. These are really handy to keep those straps in place when you're transporting the drone down the road or anything like that. The bubble wrap covers on the props, you can get rid of those. You don't need to keep those. So typically we'll pull those off. You're going to want a garbage can handy while you're doing this because you are going to generate a lot of garbage. So once I have those out, I'll set these straps aside but keep them for later. And then I'm ready to open up the drone. So the first thing I'm typically going to do, and I don't want to go into a full setup, I just want to kind of talk about the drone, but the first thing I'm typically going to do is throw a battery in and start to activate and install firmwares and things like that, right? And so if you want to see more on how to activate or unbox your drone as far as getting it set up for your first time use, we'll have another video coming for that soon. So on the drone, let's just go ahead and open it up for you so you can see a little more what's on here. All right, so we got the drone turned here so you can see it a little bit better. So out of the box, some of the main features I just want to run through so you know what to expect when you see the J150 for the first time. So obviously, you know we have a 20-gallon payload. This is the 20-gallon liquid tank here. You can see one of those seed spreaders up on the shelf. I'll get that out in a second to show you. But this is the liquid payload. This comes standard on the drone. You don't have to buy that separately. So when your drone box comes in, it will have the liquid tank on it. If you want the seed spreading tank, you will have to purchase that separately as a separate accessory unit. So for the payload system, the liquid spraying system, the tank on it has a flow meter installed as well as the two pumps installed on the tank. So that's nice because when you remove the tank, you actually get to remove all the weight of that spray system except for what's out on the arms. And so we get a little bit more payload into our spreading system with that, right? So the chemical would pump out of the bottom of this tank through these pumps, up and out these hoses, down these arms to our nozzles, right? And on the nozzles, you'll see there's 4 nozzles that come standard. You don't have to buy an upgrade kit. The J150 comes ready to spray high volume out of the box, right? So we run 4 nozzles for just about every application. Whether it's 2 gallons per acre, whether it's 5 gallons per acre, whatever it is, we're running 4 nozzles for just about every application. If for some reason you do want to run 2 nozzles as opposed to 4, that's no problem. These can easily be isolated on the controller. You have an option to set 4 nozzles or 2 nozzles, and there's a simple shutoff switch right here to be able to disconnect that third and fourth nozzle from that system. They're also equipped with solenoid valves to keep chemical from leaking out of the nozzles while they're flying. So that's not a problem we've seen with the J150. And then one cool feature we really like on the J150 is it's coming standard with a rubber flap just for opening. So quick fill, you can put your nozzle right into this hole. You don't have to actually remove the cap to fill it up, and it'll actually hold your nozzle in place so that you can walk away or change that battery while it's filling. And then once it's full, just replace that rubber flap, and now you're still sealed and you don't have to worry about spills while you're flying. As far as payload management, the J150 comes standard with 4 scales equipped. They're mounted on the frame right here beneath the tank. and the tank's just sitting on those scales. And so those scales are what's reporting how much liquid is in your tank. In addition to that, we have a float bobber in the bottom of the tank that will actually tell us when the tank is empty, right? And so you have two options to determine your tank empty scenario, and it's actually really convenient. They've given you the flexibility to select which of those two features you would like to use as your empty tank detection threshold, because if you've flown a drone in the field, you know things don't always work exactly as they're supposed to. And so having that flexibility to be able to tell it, hey, ignore this system that may be faulty at the moment, so I can keep flying, finish this field, and then fix that when I get back to the shop. Things like that make this drone really, really efficient because we don't have as much downtime because we have flexibility and options like that. Other components on the drone that are worth mentioning, probably the most substantial difference in the J150 versus other competitors would be our obstacle avoidance sensors, right? And so EAVision was the first company to utilize a true LiDAR sensor on a spray drone, right? And so that started with the J100. The J150 here is no different. So we have a front-facing LiDAR, that's this glass screen right here. And so the LiDAR technology does a very good job of seeing farther out and sensing smaller obstacles more consistently. It's a very, very efficient tool, and it does a very good job, and is what provides the EAVision with its exceptional terrain following and obstacle avoidance capabilities. In addition to the LiDAR, the J150 also has a radar mounted here on top and another rear radar mounted beneath in the back here. And so all those three sensors in combination provide the EAVision J150 with great obstacle avoidance, great terrain following. This is truly a hands-off drone. When the drone is flying in the field, there's almost no scenario where you are going to have to intervene to assist it as long as you've made your map correctly and properly. You should not have to intervene at all. You can't see it from there, but I want to jump over here in just a second and show you where the battery goes in on this drone. One thing that's getting more and more important as batteries get heavier and larger is to have it ergonomical about how you install the battery into the drone. And on the EAVision, the J150, I think they did a great job of giving us the best option there. So if we jump over here, I'll show you. So right here on the rear side of the drone, we have terminals here for the battery, but it's very easily accessible from the rear. I don't have to lift that battery way up to the center of the drone. I just lift it right to here and I drop it in. It's right on the back. It's even open to the rear of the airframe, which also allows more airflow to be generated during flight. And so we're getting a little bit of a cooling effect from the prop wash of the drone as well. So that's an overview of the J150, the drone coming out of the box, the charger, the battery. If you were to purchase a base quote with just drone, 3 batteries, charger, that's what you can expect to see. A lot of you are purchasing the seed spreader, so I do want to show you what that looks like. So the seed spreader, I have one here on the shelf. You can see it's fairly large. It's 180 pound seed capacity in this. It comes, one of the most striking features is that it has no lid. So there's no lid on this tank. It's open. We do have a great system in here that does kind of help keep that seed in there, but realistically there's been no issues with seed blowing out of this tank. And then on the bottom, you'll notice it looks a little different. We actually have an auger fed system. So there's another motor right here with an auger lead screw that pushes the seed from the tank up into the spinner, and then it falls down through the spinner to be spread onto the field. All right, and so that is the spreader system. It's super easy to swap those over. We have a video showing just how easy that is. It takes about 30 seconds to swap from the sprayer to the spreader. You can do that in the field and go from spraying chemical to spreading seed in the same day. It's a pretty convenient tool to have for sure. Thank you for checking out the video. Hope you learned something seeing the drone come out of the box and what you can expect to see when you purchase your J150. Make sure to subscribe and follow the channel so that you can stay up to date with what's going on with the J150. We're going to be posting more and more content, some overview videos, going into more depth on some of the technical specs and components of the drone, as well as how to use it, how to fly it in different scenarios. So just make sure you like and follow so that you can see what's going on with J150 in the future. Thanks.